Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're unpacking a really specific and honestly super fascinating situational judgment test. It's the kind used to evaluate premium cabin crew. I want you to imagine this scene for a second. Boarding has just wrapped up on flight EK210. The cabin doors are securely closed, passengers are settling into their seats, getting comfortable, and as part of your pre-flight duties, you are supposed to take Polaroid pictures of the passengers to, sort of elevate their onboard experience. Once you snap them, these photos go into these special little card frames along with a personalized message from the crew. As you can imagine, it's a massively popular keepsake. But today, right as the flight is kicking off, there is a major problem.
Suddenly, the brutal rule of scarcity hits. You check your camera, and yep, unfortunately, there is exactly one Polaroid film left. That is it. Literally just one single click of the shutter remains. But right now, standing there in the galley, you are looking at a list of 8 completely different passengers who have all specifically requested to have their photo taken. So 8 people, but only one photo. This isn't just about taking a quick picture anymore. It is instantly transformed into this high-pressure puzzle of customer service and prioritization.
And here is exactly where the scenario turns into a real psychological test for the crew. You and your team have to review each passenger and decide, as a group, who actually gets the photo. But wait, there is a massive constraint built into the rules here. No voting allowed. You absolutely must agree. You can't just, raise your hands, let the majority rule, and just move on with it. No way. You actually have to talk it out. You have to persuade your colleagues, compromise, and reach a truly unanimous decision. And not just on who gets the picture, but exactly how you're going to manage the inevitable disappointment of the other 7 passengers.
Now, the sheer variety of people vying for this single Polaroid, that's what makes this incredibly tough. Let's look at the list. You've got parents hoping to capture their child's very first flight. You've got an anniversary couple, a frequent flyer hitting a massive milestone. We're talking their 100th flight. Add to that a solo traveler who's building a personal scrapbook, an influencer with a huge audience eager to post about the trip, and a first-time business class traveler wanting to document the luxury. Rounding out the whole shebang, there's a passenger celebrating their birthday and an unaccompanied minor who really wants a photo to show their parents when they finally land. I mean, think about it. Those are 8 completely valid, totally understandable requests. So I want you to take a second and really lock in your own mental guess here. Who gets the final click? Seriously, if you were standing in the aisle of that aircraft right now, who are you handing that picture to? Is it customers' loyalty more important than a birthday? Does an influencer's reach somehow outweigh a solo traveler's personal scrapbook? Think about it for a second. Okay, do you have your answer? Let's see how you did.
So the crucial point is, the absolute strongest choice for this specific situational test is the parents traveling with a young child on their very first flight. Did you guess it right? Now listen, if you picked the frequent flyer, or the birthday passenger, the anniversary couple, maybe the unaccompanied minor, don't worry. The source material actually notes that those are considered really good, totally valid choices too. But the young family stands out as the optimal, top-tier answer in this specific assessment. And the reason why is just fascinating. A child's first flight wins because it represents a true once-in-a-lifetime milestone. It absolutely cannot be repeated. A baby only takes their first flight exactly once. Because of that, this photo has massive long-term emotional value. It's highly likely to become this treasured family keepsake for years and years down the road. It just perfectly aligns with the ultimate hospitality value, which is creating truly meaningful, unforgettable moments. Now contrast that with an anniversary. Anniversaries happen every single year, right? Or a 100th flight. Well, that just means a 101st flight is right around the corner. The other events, while incredibly special, don't get me wrong, they are either repeatable or they just carry slightly less unique, long-term, emotional weight than a kid's very first time up in the air. Let's move to see how this builds, because in premium customer service, your job definitely doesn't end the second you say no. You have to manage the unchosen. For the anniversary couple and the solo traveler, honestly, a handwritten note goes a really long way. The loyal flyers, like the 100th flight and the business class traveler, they get personal congratulations directly from the crew, specifically thanking them for their incredible support over the years. The influencer, they get a polite explanation that the film is strictly limited, along with a nice thank you for their enthusiasm. The birthday passenger obviously gets special birthday wishes, and the unaccompanied minor gets gentle reassurance and maybe even a handwritten message to give to their parents. The absolute key here is making sure that no one feels ignored. If you were actually sitting in an assessment center right now trying to land this job, here is exactly how a top-tier answer sounds when you deliver it to the rest of the group. You'd say something like, I would choose the family with a young child, experiencing their first flight because it is a unique milestone and the photo will become a meaningful, lifelong memory. For the other passengers, I would personalize their experience with handwritten notes, congratulations, and special recognition so that each of them feels appreciated and celebrated. Notice what's happening there. It's calm, it is highly empathetic, it clearly states the why, and it actively accounts for every single person involved in the scenario. And this brilliantly illustrates the real purpose of the exercise. Zooming out, you realize it was actually never just about a Polaroid camera. The recruiters are actively testing your empathy and your emotional intelligence. They want to know, do you truly understand human connection? They're testing your attention to milestone moments and your creativity in customer service. Can you make someone feel truly special with literally nothing but a handwritten note and a genuine smile? And above all else, it tests your fair and thoughtful decision-making under strict constraints. It basically proves you can evaluate competing priorities logically while working seamlessly as a unified team. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. How do you prioritize competing needs in your own professional life? Look, we might not be handing out the absolute last Polaroid on flight EK210, but every single day we are all faced with limited resources, competing demands, and the need to make fair, empathetic decisions while keeping our teams united. The very next time you have to say no to someone, remember this scenario. Ask yourself, how can I still make them feel truly valued? Thanks for exploring this fascinating framework with me, and I'll catch you on the next one.